everybody, Dr. Giggles here from SFNEOnline, and of course, your host of The Grove Show. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what Six Flags New England needs. And what do we mean about that? Over the last few Grove shows that we've done and comments in the videos that, have been going on, we've all conversated and talked about things that Six Flags New England needs. Whether it's maintenance, different types of rides, water park attractions, shows, how to revamp areas, etc. I mean, this isn't like a totally negative video. There's pros, there's cons to it all, and we're just going to break that down. And then, as you know, by the end of the video, I'd like to know your comments down below. Are we missing something? Am I wrong? Etc. Just leave it down in the comments down below. So let's just get on into this. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to break it down like topic by topic, area by area of Six Flags New England. And like I said, by all means, this isn't like a negative thing. If there are negatives, we're going to spin them into a positive. And I'm going to give you the ideas that were brought forth by fans, friends, myself, of things. Because we all love this park. So what we want to do is we just want to take something that could potentially be negative, put it in a positive light to try to help. Because without people talking, maybe the park doesn't realize things. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't have budget. Maybe there's budgetary reasons. So let's start off with something that Six Flags New England needs to do. And this may not be like a big marketing thing, but one of the things is beautification of the parks. This is something that a lot of parks have lost in the past. It's not just Six Flags. It's all around. There are some that do it better than others. And I'm not saying that Six Flags New England is total trash. But I'll give you an example of something amazing that Six Flags New England did. Now, for those that have been, when you walk down Main Street and then you see, if you look to the left over by the Flash Pass building, they have like a water feature with a waterfall. And if you look in stone, it has each letter, SFNE. And it's beautiful. And there's other areas like in front of Goliath when you're walking by it, not in the Crack Axle Canyon area, but like if you're walking towards Pandemonium and Looney Tunes and stuff like that. In front of Goliath, they have some nice water features, and they're doing some stuff. It's not like tons of it around there, but there's an area where you can sit, and it's really nice. And then, like when you go in a Sky Screamer, they have the other water feature, and it's really nice with flowers and stuff, and it's really nice. So my thing is, as they do things, I notice when they put new attractions in, they make the areas look better. Because like, look when Fireball went into Rockville. They did maintenance on the buildings. The buildings look great. They added some theming to keep up that 50s theme with an area to sit over by the filling station and stuff like that. Now, I'll give them kudos. Six Flags New England this year has been keeping the park pretty clean. The bathrooms, the areas. Now, I know there's people that are jerks and they're going to throw trash around, and you can only get around and clean so much at a time. I'm not saying like they're the best of the best and they're doing, you know what I mean? People are scumbags. We all know this. People are scumbags, and they're just going to throw it on the ground. Instead of just taking 2 seconds to the trash can that's in front of you 20 feet away. Nah, just throw it on the floor. I see ketchup and food, just cups and stuff thrown, and it's disgusting. There's been times I picked up stuff just because I enjoy that Six Flags New England is my home park. I love the park. So I think what Six Flags needs to do, and take the trash stuff out of this equation, but what I think they really need to do is keep adding more beautification to the park. More flowers, making more areas. Doesn't always have to be water features and rocks, but just keep doing it. Keep taking care of those buildings. Keep painting them. Keep making everything look great. Because they've been doing it. They've stepped up a lot over the years, because back when it was a crap fest and it looked like crap. They've gone a long way, and I'll give them that. But there's still work to be done. Nobody's perfect. And I just want to make sure that if they do happen to see this video, that they just keep on that trajectory and just keep going and going and going. So let's move on to rides. Let's talk about the ones that need to be removed. And then after we talk about the ones that need to be removed, let's talk about potential rides to bring in to fill in the holes that will get created. Now, not all the rides are going to get taken out in one full swoop, and you're not going to get all the rides in 1 year, but if you're going to go year by year and just take out some rides, then we'll talk about what they can put in place. Now, here's the list of rides that I feel need to go. Let's start with Goliath and Flashback. Let's also talk about Kontiki. Let's talk about Kryptonite Collider. I think those are the major rides right now that need to be removed. And I'm going to tell you why. Goliath, when they got it from Magic Mountain back in 2012, it was already, what, almost 15 years old. It was over 10 years old. The design of the ride's not the greatest. It becomes rough. And the original trains were probably the best bet that they had. Now, as they get it open, they fight to keep it open, and it's a maintenance nightmare. I think it's time to cut their losses. I'm sure they've made their return on investment on it. And I think you could put a better coaster in that spot. Now, I know they probably don't want to hear that. Maybe they do. Maybe they just want more people to speak out and say, get rid of this thing. The new trains, I mean, I don't mind the new trains, and I don't mind the old trains. The ride, it does, depending upon where you sit, when you're coming off the spikes, it does hurt. And it runs slow in the Cobra roll, and it's, it breaks down way too much. And the maintenance team can only do the best that they can with what they got, and they got a pretty good maintenance team at Six Flags New England. I just feel the ride is crap. It just keeps breaking. There's nothing really much you can do. It just spits out. And when it does, I've noticed this year that not as many people are riding it. I think people have kind of been like, kind of over it. Now, Flashback, it's old, and I know it's kind of one of those step-up coasters because I can attest to that with my own kids. When they could get to 48 and they would ride Thunderbolt, and then they can ride Flashback. Going from kiddie coaster. Like Pandemonium's a great coaster, great family coaster. I love it. Kids are gonna want something more, and that's their first introduction. That and Wicked Cyclone. They might not want to do Wicked Cyclone because it looks intimidating, so you go to Flashback. So you're gonna have a void to fill. So here's we'll get into what I think should go in those spots after this, but just remember this. Just remember what I'm saying about Flashback and Goliath. Let's move on to Kon-Tiki. Here's the Kon-Tiki problem that I have. It's an old ride. It doesn't run to its full potential. It's in a spot that nobody knows, even with signs. People just walking by. Nobody cares. It doesn't run backwards. It runs slow. I think it's time to either refurbish it and run it the right way, move it to a different spot that's more noticeable, or just get rid of it and do something better in that area. Because it's kind of a small area. You can't really add much. It's just kind of like, hey, here's Kon-Tiki. If you ride it, you ride it. If not, it's there. It's kind of a forgotten ride. I mean, I enjoy going on Kon-Tiki, but if they removed it, I probably wouldn't cry. Now, when I say remove Kryptonite Collider, you have Cyborg. They're pretty much the same ride. It's a little bit different of an experience just because of how the seating is. Different, in a sense. One's indoors, one outdoors, but they're in the same section of the park. And I'm telling you, Kryptonite Collider used to be inside where Cyborg was back in the day. It used to be called Joker's Wildcard. And it was cool back then. And now it's outside in a spot that used to have Nightwing in it, which is more like, it was what we would call like a lay-down Enterprise ride. And that ride got removed, so you had a hole there that's over inside Superman. And I really believe that what you should be doing is throwing it, just getting rid of it. You don't need two of the same rides. Because if you notice, when I'm talking, get rid of the same rides. One other thing, I am going to talk about removing Houdini, Tomahawk, and Rock and Rodeo, but that's going to be another section when I talk about IPs and theme sections. So let's move on to rides that I would put in. So over a Kryptonite Collider, I would throw in the Zamperella Endeavor. It fits the spot. It's pretty similar to what used to be there, except you're just sitting. It's just a newer version of an Enterprise. That solves that problem. A different ride, called Superwoman or whatever. People will be happy. Now, remember when I said, remember this, talking about Goliath and Flashback? Well, if you remove those two rides and move the Scrambler over where the smoking section is by Blizzard River. There's room for it over there. Just move it over there. They can refurb it, make it go a little faster. It's a fun family ride. You don't want to get rid of the Scrambler. You keep it. You just move it. So now you open up a big spot. What is going to end up happening is one of two things. And I don't know how they would work this. If you would open up a big spot. It might end up creating another dead end, or maybe you can make a path to go under a new roller coaster. I don't know. You kind of could do something like they did with El Toro at Great Adventure. You can go, under the supports. It's covered overhead, so in case something, flies off the ride, you're not going to get hit in the head. So, here's the thing. Six Flags only is a launch coaster. We have a bunch of coasters. I'm not saying we have the best coaster collection, but we have some great rides. I mean, you got Superman. You got Wicked Cyclone. Batman Dark Knight is phenomenal. A small, compact B&M, flawless. For the size of it, is amazing. Riddler got better with the new restraints. I'm not getting headaches anymore. A little rough, little jagged, but it's more intense, and I like it. You know, and with all the refurbishment stuff that they've been doing in the areas as they go, and they're adding rides, you know, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, like, there's a lot of things that can be added and done. So I feel that either a launch coaster, and someone brought up in a comment on my prediction video, a T-Rex. Now you have the Raptor track that's at Six Flags, Fiesta Texas. There's Wonder Woman. There's one out in California or America there. And they're not totally popular, but the T-Rex, the bigger version, a lot of money. I don't know if Six Flags would spend that kind of dough. They might. I think they should. I think they should put in something like that. Either that or a launch coaster. I mean, we need it to be well rounded out. We need something that we don't have. You know what I mean? Instead of cloning everything, like people are like, oh, Max Force. It's a short, quick launch ride. And I feel that's going to be the next clone ride. So I feel if they were going to do that, that's probably what you should end up getting. I don't think they're going to go in the T-Rex section, but it's possible. It's something that people want. People are tired of the clones. People want something great. So this is something we need. We need a coaster that we don't have. And the people are speaking. They're tired of the 4D clones and all the clones of these coasters. People don't want it anymore. They're tired of it. So let me know down below if you agree with this, don't agree with this. And as for Kontiki, you can do a couple things. You can either get a new version or just lose that spot and get a ride. There's some spots, not a lot of spots to put rides, but there are spots. So that's what I think about adding. If you're going to add, you could add another same type of ride. Maybe get a Music Express or something. Six Flags New England needs to add flats. There's areas to add flats. We need about 5 or 6 more flats. We need a dark ride badly, and I'm going to talk about that when I'm talking about Houdini. So let's roll into that with, like I said, with the whole Houdini and Tomahawk and Rock and Rodeo. If they're going to keep the Crack Axle Canyon theme, it's an original theme, which is great. Because myself, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of the IPs. And I know the general public bite on it. It's marketing. You're going to have Superman, Batman, Riddler, Harley Quinn, whatever. And I think it's a misconception. I don't really think that's what draws it in. That might be a tiny percentage of it. And when I talk on the Grow Show about this, I always say, you're using an IP because you don't believe in your product. If you can't come with an original theme, you don't believe in your product that you're putting in, whether it's a flat ride or a coaster. I think the time now is to go back to original ideas. Why pay all this money for stuff? And a lot of the rides the public don't really care for. Don't get me wrong, there are rides, like Harley Quinn's been a hit. The Joker is somewhat of a hit. You know, I've never seen it go into the extended queue ever, not even when it opened. But for the most part, it seems pretty busy. And then it dies out during the day, and then when everybody's getting out of the water park, it fills up. And I get that. So my thinking is, how about if you keep Crack Axle Canyon and you don't retheme it? Because I was like, oh, maybe make some pirates. But people were like, oh, what about JBs? You know? It's time to get rid of Houdini. Now, I love Houdini. I love that ride. It's totally, like, mind-blowing, especially if you've never ridden it. A lot of people, here's the problem. It's a dead-end area. You need to get rid of a dead end. People, if you want people to go to an area, you can't have dead ends. People are like, oh, I don't want to go that way and come back. I want to keep going. So that's a problem. They need to make it so you can keep going. You can expand that area. You can actually move the maintenance building somewhere else. You could put that in the... Because I remember they were going to put a building, I think more for storage, over where the employee parking lot was. And they got it approved, and it just never happened. I don't know what happened. I think they bought the stuff across the street, and that's just where they do that. But put the maintenance building over there. Make a bigger, better one. Then you have all the area from Wicked Cyclone all the way over where to Houdini is. You can make it bigger, make it open. And I think it's time for... Now, people say, you have dock rides, you have Houdini, and you have Cyborg. I am talking about a dark ride that you sit in a car and it's either going to drive around and tell you a story or you're going to shoot at stuff. And in today's world, people want to shoot at stuff. I don't think, I mean, unless you're like Disney or Universal, nobody really cares about just sitting in a ride, even though I love that kind of stuff. I mean, if it's done right, you could do an original theme and it'd be awesome. Now, with that being said, if you keep the crack axle theme, what about if you put a dark ride, shoot them up, make them look like stagecoaches, and you run, you know, you can pretend you're a sheriff or whatever, and you're shooting bad guys. There you go. You're going after, you could tell a story. I could even write a story for them, of an original story, and get it done. It would be awesome. I've had ideas. I've given them to the park before, and they're like, wow, this is really good. You really thought this. I had character names. I had all different kinds of stuff. It was awesome. They loved it. And what I would, and the reason for Tomahawk, while it's similar to Harley Quinn, totally different ride experience, totally different height. I love Tomahawk. I would be kind of sad to see it go. But, again, it's a ride that's not running at its full potential. It breaks down way too much, and motors are always blowing, and things are just not right. I think it's time to take the loss. I'm sure they got their return on investment and then some on it. It's not popular. Nobody's going there. Same thing with Rockin' Rodeo. I know they bought that as a used ride, and people have ridden it, maybe not enough, but I'm sure enough have, so they got their return on investment. Hell, you could even retheme it and move it somewhere else in the park. But I think it's time to add some new attractions. I think it's time to add some new coasters. I think it's time to redo the idea. Now, I know that it would be a loss for Fright Fest because of Midnight Mansion there, but I feel that all the Fright Fest stuff should be down in the Picnic Grove anyway. I mean, hell, even if they needed to, go build a building back there. That's a permanent structure for Fright Fest. They should be doing that anyway. Instead of using the picnic pavilions, they should be building some bigger buildings back there that's strictly just Fright Fest. And then there you go. There's your Fright Fest. That's what should be done. Got to be honest with you. It might be the unpopular opinion. Keep your pavilions, still hold your picnic things, but there is room back there, and that's probably the only thing you're going to be able to get through with, because you're not going to be able to put rides down there because of the wetlands. I bet you they would approve a building big enough to put a haunt maze that's about 10 minutes. You know, you could probably build 4 or 5 of them bad boys back there. See? So here's my thing. I think adding these rides, doing that thing, is the right way to go. So let's move to water park. Water park, if you watch a prediction video, I think next year you're going to get that water park expansion that was talked about when they went to the town hall. They do need to add some slides, even though there's no slides in it, but there is a pool, and there's more things that aren't really totally marketable. Cabanas, more changing rooms. It's stuff, utility stuff, some stuff that you need for capacity reasons and whatnot. Needs to be done. They need mat racer slides. They need some of those other bowl slides. There's a lot of slides out there, they do. And I honestly think, I love Hurricane Harbor. I think it needs a little TLC. I think some slides need some repainting. But they have a great selection. It's a great water park. It needs a little love. But other than that, it's a really good water park. So we talked about IPs. We talked about rides to remove, rides to add. Let's talk about food. Now, I've made videos talking about the dining plans ruin the food quality. Yes. I like to have more selection of different foods. I know that people are so in love with hamburgers, cheeseburgers, chicken fingers, and pizza. That's the main crop. But I'm sick of cheeseburgers, hamburgers, chicken fingers, and French fries. And the fries, I hate the fries. The fries aren't good. Unless you go to JB's, they're good. JB's that's where it's at with the food. JB's is awesome. I do like Take 6, and I do love the filling station because of the the mac and cheese sandwiches or the cone wedges that a lot of people don't even know exist. Same thing with the Thrill Shakes. A lot of people miss out on the Thrill Shakes, and it's in the Coastal Creamery in Crack Axle Canyon. When you're coming up and Goliath's on your right, it's right there on the left. It's where Cold Stone Creamery was. You guys are missing out. Six Flags New England, if you're watching this, you need to advertise your Thrill Shakes better. Because you're not. I've heard from employees. I've heard from customers. A lot of the customers had no idea they existed. They see me with it like, where did you get that? And I go, right there. I'll be in that seating area that used to be a smoking section over by Goliath. I'm just chilling out, drinking my shake there. Where did you get that? Right there. I should get a commission because I keep sending a lot of people over there. But regardless of that, yeah. The other thing about the food is they need to keep up on ice. And I know it's tough. Hot day. People are just coming in and just hitting that machine. The freestyle machine, someone needs to take a better watch at making sure the cartridges for those things are full. I know they don't hold a lot. It's not like traditional soda machines, but they need to keep up on that. And I know some of the indoor restaurants become a crap fest because they get so busy. People want to get out of the cold or the heat, depending upon the time of the year, and they get trash. Nobody's emptying the trash. People are disgusting. You know, if people would just put their trash in the trash bins and then they had employees that would constantly go check in the trash. I know it's tough. And also with the food, and I get it. Theme parks are having a hard time hiring people. I've been seeing, it's not just Six Flags, it's all over the country. It's because they don't pay enough, and you don't get a lot of great employees. I've said this a million times. You get the kids that just don't care. They want to go on dates and make friends and just collect a paycheck and don't care. Wrong attitude, and the management at all parks should make sure that they don't have cell phones even in their pocket. They should make sure that they're paying attention and they're trying to be as efficient as possible. Some people just don't care. It is what it is, and it's not right. But you need to add more employees, if you can, at the food places. You try to get a wrap, and you're waiting in the queue line for it's small, but you wait over an hour. Nobody should be waiting an hour for food. You need to have more employees at the food stations. If it's a slow day, you're going to have less, but on busy days, overload that with employees. The wrap stations, when you go get a wrap, should be set up like a Subway. You got people making the wraps, boom, slide it over to the thing, and then have a person on the register. Someone making food should not be taking gloves on and off and then going to do the register. Some may wash their hands, some may not. And you're just wasting time. You have food people doing food, register people doing register stuff. I mean, they've changed it with how they do the registers. It's not done like it used to be where you would pay right there. But just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Go. There's got to be an efficiency. It's all about efficiency, and it's tough, and I get it. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and defend Six Flags for whatever they're doing. I'm just saying that they need to get a better grip on it and get better efficiency and try their best to hire more people. So if they can just work on getting more different kinds of foods, working on getting more employees and getting better efficiency, I think it could really work. And I'm waiting to see how this food ordering app thing, I haven't seen it go live yet, but hopefully it does soon. All right, so here's the thing. Shows. This year was weird. Usually Memorial Day weekend, they have a show ready to go. They didn't have one ready till June, July, something like that. I haven't seen it yet. It's in the Rockville Theater. I missed the days of having The Illusionist, and that's something Six Flags is lacked on across the board, across a lot of the parks. There used to be concerts all the time. No more concerts. There used to be some really awesome shows, and they kind of fell off, and then they get great shows. Like, by all means, I love Graveyard Groove. Love Frost. Those are really like the big shows, like they do, and those are the best ones. Now the one in the summertime, it's not like I saw the one last year and it was like all the song. That stuff puts me to sleep. I'm always trying to find something that's great. You know, you used to have Batman stunt show and all that, and it used to be great. Not as much. Maybe it's cost. Maybe it's can't get the people. Maybe they don't have the budget. I don't know what the reasons are. I don't work there, but I'm hoping that they can figure something out, or at least if you're not going to put in the shows, get the concerts back in the Picnic Grove. Even, I know they used to do free concerts. Even if you got to charge $20 a ticket to kind of offset some of the costs. You know, people are going to want to, if you got a concert and people that, you know, people want to see it, people will pay. They will. I think a lot of people, they're trying to give you as much bang for the buck. You know, you're paying for a membership or a season pass, and they're trying to give you as much to sucker you in to come and spend money. You know, they don't really make much money on the gate. We all know that. So the food prices and the merch prices get jacked up a little bit, and you're paying for all the, you get nickel and dimed, and people are kind of like, oh, I'm tired of being nickel and dime. So if you know, concerts cost a lot of money. Nobody's really buying music. All right, charge $20 a head. You know, you'll make your money. If you get bands, rappers, singers, whatever, if you get the right music bands in there or whatever, people will come. people will come. Just saying. Now, let's talk about other park events. Here's one thing that Six Flags New England needs to do. Kind of a little jealous. I've been seeing all these posts about Great Adventure. Now, if you guys remember, when everybody was signing on, they were like, oh, you get free gifts time to time, da-da-da-da-da. I haven't really seen any of the free gifts. I'm not saying I'm being greedy or anything. I'm just saying they're not living up to something. Now, Great Adventure's been doing a pin thing, which I think would be awesome. You know, membership day, membership appreciation day, and get a different kind of pin. Now, hopefully, this is like a test, and then it moves on chain-wide. But I think they should be living up to that. And you know, we spend a lot of money depending upon what your membership type is, and you pay a lot of money. Or maybe you don't pay as much. So I think, you know, stuff like that with your with events, I think there needs to be more membership appreciation days. I love Food and Brew. That's coming up. I love Fright Fest, and I love Holiday in the Park. And they do a lot of different events. And I know, especially with Jen McGrath, they do a lot of charity stuff. That's something near and dear to her. She loves helping out and giving back to the community. That's one big thing that she's got a big heart, and she loves doing stuff like that. That's why they're always doing different types of charity drives for clothes, for people who can't afford it, food, school supplies, different various diseases, kids that, you know, like YMCA and stuff like that. They do a lot of great things that kind of get like undercut and not much publicity and don't get much. They're doing a good job on that. I just think the only negative is add more membership days and make it more promoted. That's one thing I notice about Six Flags. I don't know who's on their social media team. Once in a while I see something go up. I think, honestly, I think that they should be more interactive with their fan base, their community, and people who like the park. Now, I'm not saying it as a negative. I don't know who's running it. I don't know anything about it. I don't mean it in any disrespectful way. I just think that they should do a little bit more. That's all. I don't know who's in charge of it. I think they should do a little bit more interaction, getting the word out a little bit better. But other than that, I mean, the events are pretty spot on, and they're pretty good. Fright Fest needs some work. And when I talk to the park, they have a plan of starting now. They're gonna every so often, every so many years or whatever, they'll change them out. They don't have money like Disney and Universal to keep changing it every year. Get that? So hopefully they can get the actors, they can get some different haunts, and hopefully everything that I've said in this, they take notes. I'm here to help, not hurt. So hopefully people will chime in this and say, hey, this and this, that, and the other. You know? So hopefully that we've covered a lot. If not, leave it down in the comments, because hopefully the park sees this, and I know, actually, not I hope, I know they will. And when you leave the comment, I'm just going to ask you this. Even if it's a negative comment, and you'll be like, oh, this is crap. Well, tell us why it's crap. Don't just go, I hate this ride, and it should be thrown in the trash. Come with a solution. Or if there's a problem with food or customer service, say, hey, I had this issue. Here's what I think. You'll get more respect from the park. You'll get better results from the park if you do it that way. So if you want to voice your opinions, come with some constructive criticism. Come with a way to help fix it. And we can talk about it in the chat down below. So make sure you leave the comments, and we'll go from there. So I want to thank you for hanging out as long as you did, listening to me blab about this. And if you haven't yet, make sure you click that subscribe and like button. Leave us a comment. And I will see you guys soon. Till next time, everybody, keep on coasting, y'all. Peace.